Look what just showed up. This is the Hovsco Xander Max electric scooter. It folds, it scoots, and it's under $500. Today, I'm going to skip the car and see if I can do everything I want to do on this inexpensive 19-mile-per-hour machine. Let's go. This is the Hovsco Xander Max folding e-scooter. Now I understand why you might not get all that excited about an e-scooter, but I'm really looking forward to spending some time with this thing. Yeah, my channel is mostly about cars, but I'm a big fan of all forms of mobility, especially micro-mobility. And these scooters are everywhere now, so I'd like to get to know these a little bit better than I do now. And what better way to do that than leave the car at home and spend my day on this? Hovsco says this has a 30-mile range, so it seems like it should easily handle the things I'd like to do today, but I guess we'll find out. So this was delivered almost completely assembled. All I needed to do was attach the handlebars, and it was pretty much ready to go. Now, if you're interested in buying this e-scooter, please use my link in the description below. It will help support the channel and allow me to continue to make videos like this. But don't buy the scooter just yet. Let's first ride it around town and see how it does. But before we ride the scooter, let's do a quick walk around and check out all of the features and specs. So it's got a pretty nice design. I like this gray color they got going on here. The deck is plastic, but it looks really durable. And at first glance, it doesn't look like the deck has much in the way of grip, but my feet don't slide around really much at all on this thing. It's got reflectors on the sides, a cute little kickstand that works really well. One of the real nice features of this scooter, like many e-scooters, is that it folds very easily like this. And there's a little latch the handlebars connect to down here. And there you go. So this scooter weighs in at 36.2 pounds, and I wouldn't want to be carrying this all across town, but should be pretty easy to carry onto a bus or lifting it into a car or bringing it upstairs. So I think this scooter will work well with a large range of heights and body types. I'm 6'3", and I fit on here pretty well. I don't have to reach too far down to reach the handlebars, though it does have a max load of 220 pounds. And I've got size 14 shoes, and there's not a whole lot of space for my feet up here, but it will work. So this is a 36-volt scooter. It's got a 350-watt rear motor with 500 watts of peak power. It's got a 10.4 amp hour battery, which is mounted down low under the deck. It's got a 6-hour charging time from empty to full using the included 2-amp charger. So Hovsco says that this has a 30-mile range, and we'll be sure to test that out. They say the top speed is 19 miles per hour, but of course that could depend on a number of factors, so we'll check that out too. There's 3 riding modes: low with a top speed of 4 miles per hour, basically walking speed, medium at 12 miles per hour, and high with a max of 19. And there's also a cruise control feature. And if you have to deal with hills, Hovsco says that this can climb a 15% grade. It's got a mostly straight across handlebar with rubber grips, thumb throttle on the right, brake on the left. The display in the middle is integrated into the handlebars, which is nice. There's 1 brake on the rear wheel. It's cable operated and uses a 120mm rotor. There's no suspension on this scooter, and like most scooters, no space for any cargo, so bring a backpack. But Hovsco does sell other slightly larger scooters that do have storage. We've got 10 by 2.5 inch tires with plastic fenders, a decently bright front light that automatically turns on if it's dark out. We have a tail light and a flashing brake light. There's no bell or horn here, and this scooter comes with a 2-year warranty. So I was up really late last night, and now I don't normally drink coffee, but I think today I really could use one. And there's a coffee shop that's actually just a mile away that I'd like to check out. I haven't been there in a long time, so I think that'll be my first stop of the day. All right, let's go. All right, so to get this scooter started, you do need to give it a little push. It won't just start on its own if you press down the throttle. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything, so just give it a little push and you're off. Now, if you've ridden like a Lime scooter or an Uber scooter in a city, this will feel a little bit bumpier than that because there's no suspension here. So just keep an eye on the road conditions ahead of you. You don't want to go tumbling forward over a pothole. All right, so this is a 36-volt e-scooter, and it's got that 350-watt rear motor, makes 500 watts of peak power. And I am going 18 miles an hour right now. I think I'm gonna just barely hit 19 miles an hour. Yep, there we go. And honestly, 19 miles an hour is plenty fast for a scooter like this. I think I would want a little bit of a longer wheelbase and maybe some suspension if it was gonna go any faster than that. But 19 miles an hour is a good speed to get where you wanna go pretty quickly. All right, let's get back up to 19 miles an hour and do a brake test here. Now we have 120mm rotors here, but there's only 1 brake. Let's see how it does. So when you really slam on those brakes, you might lock up that rear tire. And also be careful when it's slippery, your stopping distances are going to be much greater. But I'd say that's decent stopping power for a little scooter like this. All All right, let's make our way onto the sidewalk. Now this is where I'm probably going to be a little bit more cautious because the sidewalks in Los Angeles are generally pretty terrible with lots of bumps, lots of dips. And then you have people like this that don't bother trimming their weeds. I think you'll be reminded pretty quickly that there's no suspension here, so take it a little bit more slow on a terrible sidewalk like this one. I think my biggest issue is just my giant feet. I can't really quite find a good place to put my feet where they're comfortable. Actually, you know what? I think if I kind of have my left foot angled and my right foot straight, that kind of makes it work. Hey, look, another scooter. Now that I've been riding a lot of e-bikes lately and I'm more in tune to all of these other different forms of mobility, I've been noticing so many e-scooters everywhere. Okay, so as I mentioned, I was up super late last night, and now while I'm not normally a coffee drinker, I feel like I could really go for one this morning. Let's go to this coffee shop. I haven't been over here in a long time. All right, that was pretty delicious. I think I'm going to head over to Target now because I kind of want to buy a new basketball. Maybe the Target parking lot's a good place to test out the stability of this scooter. Yeah, it's pretty agile. I'd say this thing handles pretty well. And like I mentioned, I'm 6'3", and I feel like I'm just a touch too tall for this thing, but I'm making it work. But in terms of comfort, this is pretty decent. The grips are indeed grippy. And now that I've figured out where to put my feet on this thing, I feel like that's working out a lot better now. The thumb throttle's in a good spot. It's pretty comfortable to use. Yeah, there's enough grip on these tires to do some quick maneuvers. Now, I'm not going to do any tricks on this thing because my body is too old and broken to attempt anything like that. All right, let's stop into Target, go grab a basketball and some other crap I probably don't need. Now I could probably just bring the scooter inside, maybe stick it in a shopping cart if I don't want anybody to steal it, but I might just hook it up with a bike lock outside here, see how easy that is to do. All right, so it looks like I made it out of Target without buying a whole bunch of unnecessary crap. I just got myself a basketball, which is kind of a surprise for Target. There's always crap there that I want. All right, so it might be a little bit too early to talk about range. I haven't really ridden that many miles today. I've gone 5 miles. I still have 4 out of 5 bars left on this battery, but I'd guess maybe I'd be able to go about 20 miles today. I think if you want to hit that 30-mile range that they say you can get, you probably can't be on this high speed at all times. Now, obviously, range estimates can vary wildly based on a lot of different situations and variables. The weather, how many hills you have, your weight, how much you're using that throttle, how fast you're going, all that kind of stuff. So I was going to end my trip here and head home and play some basketball, but I've only gone 5 miles so far. So let's ride a little bit longer to see if we can test out more of the range on this scooter. And there's a little bit of a hill here, and you can see that, yes, it's not gonna be able to go full speed up this hill. I think I'm maxing out at about 13 miles an hour right here. So yes, it can go up grades, but it's not gonna go that quickly, but it's finally getting up to speed. There we go, 16, 17 miles an hour. So now that we're headed this direction, I'm actually going to ride through Cal State Northridge because it's very likely that a target customer for this e-scooter is going to be a student. Now, normally you'd see a ton of e-scooters and e-bikes around this campus, but it's summer, school is no longer in session, but normally this campus would be teeming with them. So one really fun thing about an e-scooter, especially on a campus like this, it feels much less intrusive than an e-bike on sidewalks in places where there's lots of pedestrians because it just doesn't take up that much space. So I can see why these are so popular on campuses. This is a really nice campus though. I have no idea where I'm going. Okay, one more thing to note in terms of comfort. If you're kind of older and broken like I am, having no suspension can kind of do a number on your knees and ankles after a while, but just keep that in mind if you're getting an e-scooter. All right, we've done almost 15 miles, still 3 bars left on this battery, so I would estimate that I could probably do at least 20 on this thing, as long as you don't have a ton of hills. All right, so this Hovsco Xander Max scooter comes in at $449, and that's a price that could make this a super useful tool for a college student or for someone that lives in a mixed-use walkable neighborhood with shops and restaurants nearby. But as you saw today, it can still work out pretty well in a sprawling, suburban, car-dependent area too. And it's compact and light enough that it can easily be tossed in the back of a car. I like the size, it's not too big or terribly heavy, and because it folds easily, you can bring it with you inside stores and restaurants rather than locking it up outside. So after spending the day on this thing, I'm kind of liking e-scooter life. So if you want to buy this Xander Max, please use my link in the description below. It helps support the channel and allows me to continue to review new and interesting bikes, cars, and other mobility products. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. If you want to help support the channel, please consider buying a Hello Road t-shirt at helloroad.tv/shop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll see you soon.